What's going on, man? Pounders. We're back and we're doing some more underdog drafts. And finally, we get a good spot. We're in the 2 spot for the second time out of 30 drafts. And out of one of those, we had Jamar Chase get picked at the 1 spot. So I am looking forward to potentially getting Jamar Chase here. At the 2 spot, I need to kind of level out my exposures. Um, so we'll see if he gets snippy snipped by Charlie Brown. Hoping he doesn't, but I like this. We have so much experience drafting at 9 through 12. It's been about 80% of our drafts, 9 through 12, where it should only be about 25%. So looking forward to kind of getting some variance going our direction with some of these early drafts. And we started off with a Jamar Chase. Thank you very much. Let me throw a thumbnail on this video real quick because we just jumped right into it tonight, which is sometimes what you have to do. Sometimes it's what you have to do for the people. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's pull up the board. CMC goes at 3, followed by Cooper, Travis Kelce at 5. I'm curious, are you guys drafting Kelce at 5 consistently before Tyreek Hill? Man, I think I have him at 8. I'll start to draft Kelce. It's just a little rich again. It's the same narrative, another year older. I'm still gonna want my 8% Kelce, so I get it. It gives you such an advantage, but when we're drafting 20 rounds and you can pick 3 tight ends very easily, it allows us to make up those points. Where if we're drafting 18 rounds, I am a strong believer you get a significant advantage at QB as well as tight end, which is a strategy that we utilized a lot last year. So Bijan Robinson going at the 12 spot, followed by Brees Hall. Interesting. I like it. Here's a common stack that we're seeing a lot. A.J. Brown with Jalen Hurts. I'm drafting A.J. Brown before Devontae Adams right now. Stephon Diggs following with Josh Allen. I like it. CD falls all the way to 16. That's good value. Really good value. Amon-Ra still on the board. Is this where he goes off? Garrett Wilson going at 18. Followed by Mahomes. Ooh, 1 pick before the Kelce squad. Feels bad. Feels real bad. Wow. Seen a lot of those snipes. St. Brown finally off the board at 20. I like the value on St. Brown. Waddle goes, and you want to know what? We have next to none when it comes to Derrick Henry. It's just I want Joe Burrow. And will he go T. Higgins, Joe Burrow? I think you could very easily go T. Higgins, Joe Burrow here with this pick. So we are going to get Joe Burrow here for the stack. And I'll take one of these 3. There's a chance that since he doesn't re-sign T. Higgins, If I had to guess, I bet they keep him. We don't have a lot of Derrick Henry. This is just gonna be a smooth out the exposures pick from us. And my only other team with Jamar Chase, I do have T. Higgins as well. So let's mix it up a little bit from that start. Let's get a little different from there. Gotta have a little fun sometimes. Have to have a little fun. Let's put this up on Twitter machine that we're live. Olavi going at 33 here. We'll show the big board as we await the bigger board from Underdog Fantasy. Is it going to happen? I mean, I think it has to at this point. I think it has to. I like this $10 tourney to start off, though. Gets us back in the swing of things. Let's see. All right. The Mahomes team also grabbing Lamar. So technically, they should be done at QB now. I would hope so. I would hope so. Not always the case. You're investing that much in QB for draft capital. It really just hurts you if you continue. So Herbert going off the board, which we like. We want these QBs coming off the board. Beautiful. So there's a couple things we can do here, and I'm liking Pittman as a standout value. Also, this gives us the chance to pair some of these rookie QBs late that we believe can head to Indy, which I think is interesting. Let's see if one of these tight ends fall. Kind of see what Charlie wants to do, but I want to get Pittman here just for our second QB. Little speculation ad. It's fun. So he goes DJ Moore in London. So I'm definitely going to go tight end here. Let's go Hawk. I have a fair amount of Kittle. Smooth out the exposures a little bit here. And we get him around 7 picks after ADP. So a little value, a little scoop to value action. I like that. So very balanced squad so far. And we're going to probably follow this by wide receiver the next round. So 72, 73. We're looking at Pickens, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison. So some of these guys, maybe we get someone to fall too. Pickens, not really my favorite value, but when it comes to tournaments, does he have the chance to spike on any given week? Sure, he does. It's just we need to see an increase from Kenny Pickett. We need to see them go to that next level this season because you're being charged for it. You're being charged for it before you see it. So, is he a skilled and talented wide receiver? Yes. I think it's the correct range for him. Now, value-wise, I mean, Dotson, I have some better value picks that I like later. So we'll see. Let's see who falls. Let's see who falls. Like I said, we've been drafting 9 through 12 about 85% of the time. So we are in new territories here with these ADPs. Derrick Henry, 6 picks after ADP. Hawk, 7. I like it. Pecan going his second tight end. Matching it with Jalen Hurts. I like that a lot. Oh, Keenan Allen. Most likely won't be a Charger this year. Where's the Justin Herbert team? I think Palmer's an interesting ad for this squad. I think 124 is right around where he's going to. Going at 126. Would you rather, if Keenan Allen is off the board and he goes to, well, obviously he'll be off the board, but if he goes to a different team, would you rather Palmer or one of these receivers? Elijah Moore, Boyd, Zay Jones, DPJ, Mooney, Juju? Like, wouldn't Palmer automatically go into this range right here? So 20 picks, 2 rounds, just about. 2 rounds sooner when we get the news that Allen moves on free agency. I think he's a good speculation ad. He's someone where his ADP can change significantly in your favor, and people have to start spending up. So he's been one of my favorite wide receivers in that tier. No Michael Thomas. I wasn't on him last year either, so nothing different there. If one of these running backs fall, we're interested in a running back here. I don't have a lot of Mike Evans. Damn, you started early, bro. Are you doing another one? Potentially. Potentially not Juju. Yeah, I agree. Not Juju at all. We want J.K. Dobbins here, to be honest. A lot of people aren't high on J.K., but we have to remember this team wants to run the ball. And they have to run the ball to be successful. This is pretty much what it's looking like. I still think Pickens is a little expensive. But sort of in the right range. Ayuk, I'm sort of worried about Ayuk too. I don't know if people remember his start with Trey Lance was kind of shaky. So Treylon Burks, I like a lot. I think this is interesting too. I mean, if we went running back here, I know it's crazy. Only having 2 receivers, you can't do it. It's too ugly. Let's go Pickens going into his second year. That would just been ridiculous. If we go running back, we probably stop at 5, and then we stack 10 receivers. Pickens gonna ball out this year. I like Dobbins though too. Yeah, Dobbins, if he can stay healthy, and obviously let's get Lamar in the field at the same time. Didn't see a better year, obviously, but we have over 5 yards of carry last year. I mean, what really can you ask for during a pretty ugly season overall for Baltimore, just everyone getting hurt. Now, the positive news is he didn't get hurt. He didn't re-injure that knee. So going into the next season, he's going to be healthier. Pick 71. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fair amount of J.K. Dobbins in this range. Especially, I have a lot of teams where I go 0 RB and sometimes J.K. Dobbins. I go J.K. and like a Tyler Algier as my first 2 RBs. Even a Cam Akers or James Conner. James Conner's going too late. He was injured last year, so he was on pace. He was on pace for a better year. Obviously, touchdown regression was coming, but to have him in the same range as James Cook, Brian Robinson, James Cook, kind of some of my do not drafts right now. I just being charged for him. Now, tournaments is completely different uh, from cash, right? Like cash, we're gonna go with the strict value plays, and tournaments, you have to start thinking he might not be the best value in this range, but do they have the opportunity? Do they have it in the realm of possibilities to spike and push your lineup through week 15, 16, 17 when we're trying to make the big bucks in these style tournaments, 112,000 people. So sometimes you're being charged for the upside. Christian Watson, pretty clear example, going at 44. Is this the best cash value play? Probably not, but it's in the realm possibilities that he can push a lineup forward. Ben, you think Lamar is staying in Baltimore? It's pretty crazy if they don't keep him. They are a QB away, really. I think they're right in it. They need if they keep Lamar and they add some wide receiver talent, they're right in the playoffs. They have a shot to make a run in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. So I think it's in their best interest to keep Lamar. Um, I don't think it's a great time for this team to reset under a rookie when they have the pieces. So here's the deal. I like Zay Flowers. I like his tape a lot. If he ends up in New England, this is a terrible ADP for him. Obviously, no bias. All the Pat stuff in the back. Just a terrible landing spot for him fantasy football wise. I don't like Njoku here unless I'm going unless I'm getting Deshaun Watson. I don't like a lot of these middling tight ends, especially these 3, unless I have the QB. Cole Kmet, I think, is a great value. So he has Deshaun Watson. He pairs him with Njoku. I'm fine with that. I'll be surprised if he doesn't go Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones reportedly wants $45 million a year. What a psycho. And if he gets it, that means the KC Mahomes deal is a legendary ripoff, which is crazy to think because what was it, like 450 or 500 million? Um, I like Daniel Jones here. These receivers are kind of all off the board that I would go. Running backs, I think there's better values later. So we're done at QB. We're done at QB. Zay Flowers has a lot of potential landing spots. So I agree they should be more worried about keeping Lamar, but Lamar's unhappy. I mean, he's been unhappy since they traded Marquise Brown before last year's draft. And that was huge. Ravens, I believe, is 31st in spending on receivers. Yeah. Yeah. I feel their pain. I feel their pain as a Patriots fan. We don't spend on receivers either. They have to bring in someone, though. They have to. And you have some options. Maybe Juju as a cheaper option in Baltimore. I think that's interesting. If I went Lamar, maybe I would go Juju here. Just kind of adding some of these speculative speculative guys. Maybe Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen could add a lot to Baltimore this year too, just being a veteran guy, a real true number 1 for Lamar, and then you'd have Bateman as well. If he can stay healthy, Bateman is a great value at his current ADP. Because again, it's hard to predict these injuries, right? But if you're betting on talent, that's how you're going to end up profiting in these. You don't typically want to play these safe. You want to shoot for the ceiling. Khalil Herbert, I think, is interesting. I like him this year. There's a chance that David Montgomery moves on. But if they move on from David Montgomery, they're going to draft like a Zach Carbonet or someone that in this year's draft. I think Khalil Herbert's more of that switch rules type guy. Let's get some fresh legs out there. He adds a lot to the offense, but sort of like Tony Pollard in Dallas, just being a really good number 2. I think they view him as that guy, not just like an every down back. So I like Khalil Herbert. I think we're being charged a premium at 108. Tyler Boyd off the board at 113. We had 3 QBs off the board. Geno, Russ for this team. Has Javonta. None of the pass catchers in Denver. None of the pass catchers in Seattle. I'm probably not drafting Russell Wilson or Geno unless I have their pass catchers, just because they don't use their legs. If you're going to have a spike week from these QBs, I'm going to bring their wide receivers along with them. So correlation is important when we get to, this is perfect. Good value drop here. I like Wan'Dale Robinson too. Let's actually do this. Let's do DPJ. I'm going to follow it back with Wan'Dale Robinson. Get a little correlation for our Danny Dimes pick. Correlation. So sometimes, this is about the max outreach is 10 picks on a player, just because it's so early into these drafts, and luckily they're finishing fast. So like Best Ball Mania, it's a tournament that goes for months and months. And when you have that, you can have changing ADPs because the tournament doesn't fill for so long. So you want to dabble with players at different ADPs. Now, where this tournament is going to fill relatively quick, it's already at like 23, 24%. I'm more likely to reach a slight amount to get my players, because I know there's not a lot of time that their ADPs are going to swing a large way, one way or the other. You'll see mostly swings with the rookies as pictures come out of them on Twitter, like Kendre Miller, absolute brick shit house. But some of these second-year guys, I think their ADPs are pretty much going to stay unless we get some news in free agency. Staffy off the board. I don't think I have a single stock in Staffy. And again, Staffy's not someone I'm really interested in unless I have one of the pass catchers. He could add a Tyler Higbee on the way back around here, and a Van Jefferson, maybe Tutu Atwell as the last round pick. But again, Staffy's not going to get you points on the ground with his legs. So if he has a big week 15, he's going to bring his pass catchers along. Who's that going to be? Cooper Kupp usually. So Bryce Young off the board. We're done at QB. We don't even have to look at it. Don't even look at it. All right, let's see who we got for RBs that I like at a value. Lenny going at 146. You hate to see it. It's disrespectful, but he caught 73 passes last year. Yes, from the check down king, Tom Brady, but the O line was junk and it was hurt. So, worst case, he ends up on another team and he's a third down back and catches a shit ton of passes. Now you have higher upside picks, maybe like an Elijah Mitchell if you don't have CMC, because this Elijah Mitchell pick is pretty much if CMC goes down, right? You're now getting another RB1, high upside RB2, who still has a role. He has a weekly role even with CMC there. So I think Elijah Mitchell is the perfect like 0 RB or just hero RB or 2 RB strong teams where maybe CMC goes down and now you're adding another powerhouse RB to your roster where you are strong in other places as well. Like Alexander Madison, I think Elijah Mitchell has significantly higher upside than in Alexander Madison, who's not involved. 74 attempts because Cook was relatively healthy last year. 74 attempts. He doesn't have a role unless Cook goes down. Even if Cook does go down, you're not guaranteeing that he goes down week 15, 16, 17 when you need him for this tournament. So, yes, sir. This is where we're going to scoop our running back values. This is where it happens. Hey, snipey snipe. Good pick. It's a good pick. Could go Isaiah Hodgins for a little more correlation here, but we're good at receiver. We have 6. Let's bring in our first rookie prospect. Someone that is supposed to run a 4.240. And after that happens, his stock is, I mean, it's already dropping. It was going from like, he's going at like ADP 168 a short while ago. Now people are starting to get on these dynasty channels and do a little more research. More information's coming out about these players, and it's more widely accessible. So this is as early as I'll pick them, I think, right now. Before we know these landing spots, that's what's going to be most important about these running backs. Let's show the board. I think we hit a good value pocket at running back here by waiting. Allen Lazard, 151. Will he resign? Will he be somewhere else in the offseason? If so, where would he go? And where would you want to see him go? I don't know. It's just kind of like he's like a less talented Christian Kirk, in my opinion. So not going to be a higher, like Alec Pierce, I think has higher upside than Allen Lazard. Sky Moore going just about on ADP. KJ Osborne going about 17 picks after ADP. I don't mind this spot for him. I think 137 is a little early. Lenny goes at 156. I like that as his 4th running back. Hunter Renfrow at 157. I don't like Hunter Renfrow for this squad, and I'll tell you why. You already have upside guys, and you have floor guys. You know, Keenan Allen is a great floor guy. I don't know. I probably I'm probably looking at another QB here, only having Bryce Young. You already have some high upside guys, like I said, and you have good floor guys. I think another QB would have been smart there. These rookie QBs also typically have a slower start to the year. Claypool off the board at 160. Does he go to the team with? Nope. With Justin Fields. Isaiah Hodgins off the board at 162. Someone we would have been interested in if he fell. Damian Harris, who's a great value at 163. Here we're looking at like a Michael Mayer. And we can go, most likely going to go wide receiver after this. Running backs, I think we might be able to get a penny on the way back around. If not, we can go another high upside rookie. Maybe a Cordell Patterson falls. He's been falling a lot in drafts. Let's see our wide receivers. What do we need? I like our wide receivers. I think we have a lot of upside guys. I might go CPAT here, but it's such a reach. 14 picks on CPAT. I've seen him drop into 200s. I like Shaheed. I like Traquan Thornton. But I don't have a lot of Mechie. Let's go Mechie. Smooth out the exposure a little bit. We'll see who ends up in Houston at QB. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. So this squad is going to end up a 6 running back, 2 QB. Depends on tight end. If if a value falls to us, we can go a third tight end, or we can stop at 2. Hawkinson, when you're drafting him this early, you are depending on him being that number 2 target that he was when he showed up in Minnesota. You're being charged for it. So if it doesn't happen, I mean, you're kind of screwed either way, unless you strike gold with one of these guys down late. Now, after Hawkinson and Kittle, you have like the next 6, 7 tight ends that go from pick 51 to 125 that are all very similar guys. The only way that I'm selecting them on ADP is typically going to be if I have their QB. Otherwise, I'll wait for like a Cole Kmet, who I think is just an absolute steal of a value for where he goes in these drafts at 125. I like Tua as a value QB, one of the better value QBs this year as well. But again, we have to start thinking tournaments and high upside. I think that's what we're able to do here, which I like a lot. Got to change the mindset. Change the mindset. Say Flowers if he ends up in New England. It's a sad day for his upside. Good day for a Patriots fan. Sad day for fantasy football upside. His tape's exciting though. Like at this ADP, not being like overcharged. It's not going to break the bank if he misses or starts slow. Get him at pick 95, so can't really complain there. I don't think Shaheed's going to fall. That'd be ridiculous if he did. Tim Patrick made our last video of high upside late round targets. Even if they don't trade away Judy, which they tried in throughout the whole season. If we remember, Judy had a good finish to the end of the season as well. He's part of the reason why we won 25K on that Battle Royale lineup, where we reached on Russ and Jerry Jeudy. So Tim Patrick, he's going to produce either way. Like Russell Wilson ranked dead last with like 35% red zone conversion rate, touchdown rate. And Tim Patrick's a big body guy, 6'4", sure hands, and he's going to be that red zone guy for Russ. If Javonte can stay healthy, Javonte Williams, they should be in the red zone more often. So just making these small inferences in order to find success. Not going to be interested in a Danny Bellinger here. If we didn't go Mayer, potentially we could have. Jelani Woods is a nice late round tight end. Dalton Kincaid also on the list. Hunter Henry's on the list. Late round values. I don't know if it gets more high upside, boom bust, risk reward than Rashad Penny, someone that's averaged 5.7 yards per carry in his career. Just can't stay healthy. He was a first round pick for Seattle. He played behind Carson, and he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. That being said, we remember Coach Carroll said, hey, he might be back for the playoffs, and he didn't come back, which means he didn't get re-injured. So hopefully he's just healthy for next season, and if he is 191, whether he's a Seahawk next year or not, it's going to be a pretty insane value. I just never learn. If I draft Tim Patrick here, it's just me never learning. If we go running back here, it'll be our last one. At one point, I had 24% Tim Patrick last year because I was just avoiding. Yeah, I like Shakir too. It's a good point. And I should mix it up with some Shakir. But I had 24% Tim Patrick last year. I wasn't drafting Sutton. I wasn't drafting Jeudy at their ADP. I was only drafting Tim Patrick. And then I got that ACL tear from Bleacher Report notification on my phone. And I had to draft another 200-something teams to bring my exposure down to 16%. And we're still profitable. We're profitable in cash. We were profitable in tournaments. This year, I'm going to focus tournaments more than cash. And hopefully we can get in there with some more lineups. We had 4 lineups make it to the finals in various different tournaments. We're in the Puppy 3, came in like 112 for like 400 bills. But we want to make a deep cash. And in order to do that, you have to draft a lot of teams. So luckily we smoked a big one on Battle Royale week 18, and we're gonna use that as an investment, let's call it, for this season. Ben, that's brutal, man. Everyone loves Tim Patrick this year. His ADP is moving up fast. It is, but it's where he is right now can be an absolute steal. If Jerry Jeudy gets moved to any other team, he's going to go probably around 160. You're going to see him drop 30 picks. So if that happens, first off, I'm going to be very happy. And if it doesn't happen, you're using a 17th round pick on the guy. It's not going to hurt you if he misses. I think I had him at an ADP of 165 last year on 16% of teams, and we're able to profit in cash too. So it's cash games, sit and goes, whatever you want to call them. That's painful if you're playing without your 14th round pick. Yeah, your 14th round pick. Now we're lucky we're able to smoke the Josh Jacobs take last year, playing for contract, and boy did he. I'll be surprised if Kendra Miller falls. Ben, have you seen this guy's photo drop all over Twitter? Kendra Miller, if you haven't, just Google it real quick. This guy's like a mix of AJ Dillon and Derrick Henry. Now he's not going to be catching the ball in the backfield, but he is an absolute freak. I've seen him on the board on people's dynasty boards as around if like the 5th RB coming off the board all the way to 10. But some people are very high on him. And there he goes at 211. And we have plenty of them. I have around 27%. So I'm not too sad to see him go. Sometimes you need other people to draft you off these guys. These guys are about even for me. I think it's like this, but again, I don't think he's going to be the pass catching guy where Deuce is, so might have a little more upside. Richie James off the board. Let's see what this guy needs. He needs wide receiver. So if we want to go wide receiver, we should do it now. We have 3 picks left. I feel like this team could just I feel like it goes through to the next round without drafting anyone else. A lot of upside here. Who do we have left for tight ends? No one that I'm interested in, so I'm stopping at 2. If Henry was there, we probably would have went Henry. Bill O'Brien in town. I think the tight ends and Mac have a better year. This guy might be on auto pick. That being said, I'm not drafting much Mac Jones this year. I need some touches, a little bit of upside. Second year guy. Samir White. We'll see if Josh Jacobs resigns, and he wants a bag, so there's a good chance he doesn't resign. Richie Rice. You have Mac Hollins, who's interesting. Marvin Mims, who's interesting. Let's see. We have 1 rookie. So we're going to go probably 1 more wide receiver and 1 more running back. Very balanced. So maybe we'll end up getting one of these guys back here. Cedric Tillman's. Let's go upside here. I mean, they're both upside, right? Like Mac could end up anywhere. He could end up in KC realistically. But I have a good amount of Mac Hollins, so let's mix it up with some Marvin Mims, who's going to be an early declare. Someone that I'm trying to target late, along with Eric Gray, yeah, along with Nathaniel Dell, who's not going to be an early declare, but he's an absolute freak in college. 2,700 yards over the last 2 seasons. Bo brings up a good point. Eric Gray, Swift comparison. He's going to heavily depend on where he lands. A lot of these running backs will. Like, look at Houston last year. After we found out who was the running back in Houston, Dameon Pierce went from like 140s, 150s to 60, 48. Like, he went low. So it really depends where these guys land. I'm trying to get a little piece of everybody and balance. If you have a balanced roster, if some of these rookies miss, it's not going to kill you. You can still move this lineup forward if this guy misses, if Zay Flowers misses. You know what I mean? So you want to add balance. And if these guys do hit along with your studs, that's how you create a monster. Shout out Rihanna. I just saw that picture. Yeah, he's an absolute freak. Got 11%. Yeah, 15 to 17%. And it's important to look where your exposures are. You know, every 5 to 10 drafts, just give them a peek. And what I like to do is kind of look at the bottom and see who I want more of that I only have 3%. You'll be surprised. And if Underdog will stop giving us 9 through 12, and we can get some different draft picks, I can start getting some different exposures too. Like this draft is relatively similar to my draft style, but I'm adding in some new players just because they're falling to me at ADP, like a Hawkinson or a Wandell. So it's exciting. It is exciting. 45%. Hey, dude, I respect it. Going all in on a player, um, is the it's risky, right? But I respect it. I think there's a good chance he ends up in Chicago. If they move on from David Montgomery, I think he's like the perfect ad, and he would take over the number one spot there over Khalil Herbert. And Khalil Herbert would be the change of pace guy. But again, landing spots. Eric Gray, I think that's a good spot for this team. Yeah, that's a nice high upside pick at the end here. He's got a couple rookies with Mac Jones. Richardson has some rushing upside, which is nice. He's one of my favorite late round QBs. And we got one last pick. It's Bear. It's Bear. And when it's Bear like this, you can do someone like a Jerome Ford right now who Dearness Johnson's heading to free agency. If they don't re-sign him behind Chubb, Ford is the guy right now. So a little sneaky insight right there. Zonovan Knight, I've seen drafted. I think we go running back here, though, right? I don't think there's a wrong answer, running back or wide receiver. It's pretty much best available. If Matt Collins is there, we can go Matt Collins. I don't think I have. Yeah. 8 running backs, 6 receivers. This team's out. Thank you for paying the rake. Charbonnet in Cincinnati. They have an ugly O-line, but they were showing improvements in the second half. It's just their run blocking isn't amazing. 4 QBs. Is this the guy that's... Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. He might be out. He's got some upside, guys. You never know. But most likely he's paying the rake as well. Matt Collins falls. I think it would be pretty crazy not to pick him here. And let's lean on Derrick Henry, Dobbins, and maybe one or two of these guys hit. I just think you're going to get more points from Matt Collins than you are Jerome Ford this season. So I think it gives us the best shot here. Go look at Chase Edmonds late. Yeah. And that's that. We got to stop it at 1 today. Guys, I really appreciate you coming out, adding to the fun in the comments. If you want to hit the bell for notifications or hit me up on Twitter, I post on there when I go live. And I look forward to drafting with you guys in the future. And I'll see you soon. Pounders.